I have the pleasure of introducing the keynote speaker for the Sadie Alexander Luncheon, Dr. Boyce B. Watkins. Dr. Watkins received a BA NBS with a triple major in finance, economics, and business management. He was selected by the Wall Street Journal as the outstanding graduating senior in finance. He holds a master's and PhD from The Ohio State University and was the only African American to receive a PhD in finance his graduating year. Dr. Watkins has also held visiting scholar positions at Shanghai University of Finance and Economics in China, the Center for European Economic Research in Germany, and Carnegie Mellon University. Dr. Boykins is currently a professor at Syracuse University in New York. Specializing in financial psychology, Dr. Watkins has spoken to millions, appearing on CNN, CNBC, MSNBC, ABC News, and BET. Dr. Watkins has also appeared in publications such as the New York Times, the Washington Post, Black Enterprise Magazine, and many more. Additionally, he has been cited by numerous print media, including the USA Today, Forbes, Essence, and the Wall Street Journal. Dr. Watkins is a world-leading authority in finance and investing. Dr. Watkins recently published his 5th book titled Financial Lovemaking, 101, Merging Assets with your partner in ways that make you feel good. In addition to that background, Dr. Watkins is also an outspoken and respected critic of social and racial inequality. His 4th book, What If George Bush Were a Black Man?, has been characterized as one of the most riveting statements in modern social commentary. Without further ado, I present to you a man who made me feel supremely and profoundly uneducated upon reading his bio. The People Scholar, Dr. Boyce D. Watkins.
That was a great introduction, man. Thank you very much. And you know, the first thing I have to do before we even begin is to let you know a couple things. Number one, okay, first thing you really have to know is that we're all going to die. I want to start the conversation off with in an upbeat fashion. We're all going to die. And you really have approximately 350,400 minutes left in your career, most of you. That's 40 years, that's how many minutes you have, 350,400 approximately. So the clock is ticking, tick-tock, tick-tock. And so what I want to do is, I'm not here to tell anybody what to do, that's not my job, I'm not very good at that. But I want to share some things with you that will hopefully allow you to use that time you have, which is limited and finite, to do some things that are going to allow you to lay in your deathbed and say, okay, I did it my way. The first thing I have to do though, after that, is I have to really break down everything on that bio. I appreciate the bio, and it's an honor to be here, and I appreciate the fact that I have received that respect from the people who run this organization. I've been very impressed with the organization, I've been very impressed with the leadership, but I really have to demystify and break down the bio because I don't want anybody to think that the bio represents who I am or that I am somebody special, that I'm any better than anybody in this room, because the answer is absolutely no. The fact of the matter is that people only put the good stuff on their bio. They don't really tell you how many times they failed, how much misery they've gone through, how much pain they've gone through in order to achieve the things that they eventually accomplished. It's nice to be able to put something on the bio and have people think that you're special, and I appreciate that. Maybe if that gets people to listen, then I'm glad to use it, but the reality is that I am simple. I am a simple person. I am Little Coco from Kentucky. That's what my mother used to call me. She used to call me Coco. A good mother is the foundation to our society. I think most of us know that, and I will always praise my mother until the day I am dead. I am a capitalist. A lot of finance professors are capitalists. I'm not ashamed of being a capitalist. I'm not ashamed of making money. But I'm also a person who was raised with a value system that helps me understand what capitalism can and cannot do for a society. You see, capitalism gone wild ultimately destroys a society. It ultimately causes you to sell things that you don't want to sell and to become something that you don't want to be. And one of the choices that I had to make professionally very early in my career is, oh, am I going to spend my career becoming somebody I'm not? Or am I going to simply try to be the best version of me that I can possibly be? I don't tell people how to make that decision. I don't tell them what direction they should go in. I don't tell them how they should strike that balance, but I do encourage them to have that conversation with themselves. Because ultimately, you have to answer to yourself in terms of how you use your career. I went to school and I learned the benefits of education. And I don't need to tell you the value of education because everybody in this room understands that. If I were talking to younger people, then I would talk about what education does because that's a huge mission for me. I decided very early in my career I wanted to be sort of an intellectual Harriet Tubman and go back and free the minds of all of our kids and these young black geniuses that are being eaten up by a horrific inner city school system. I realized very early that we don't need more black PhDs. People say we need more black PhDs, we need more black PhDs, the world would be better if we had more black PhDs. Well, I said, you know, we don't need any more black PhDs, we actually need more PhDs. We need people that are going to actually take the talent that they have and the skill that they have and find some way to incorporate a broader community mission into their personal objectives. You see, the thing about it is that the more successful we become, the more educated we become, the more we are trained to be afraid, the more carrots are held in front of us that we want to chase. If you eat one carrot, it only heightens your appetite to eat another one. It only makes you want to sacrifice a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more to the point where you have done a lot and really haven't done much of anything. America is more capitalist than it is racist. America is more capitalist than it is sexist. America is more capitalist than it is democratic. The fact is that money makes the country go round, whether we like it or not. I'm not into the paper chase. I like money. I grew up poor. I didn't want to be poor anymore. I wanted to make enough money to where money wasn't an issue. But once I had enough money, I decided I want to try to find a way to use this money, use this power, and use this access to actually do something that means something. So what is the fight today? The fight, in the eyes of many, historically, has been about racism. It's a fight against racism. We got to fight racism. We have to stop racism. And I don't disagree. I think that the fight against racism is certainly an important fight to be had. I cheer on when I talk to people that, like Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton and others. I respect and love what they have done for our country. You know, and I'm going to tell you, it's not easy to do what they do because you get more haters from your own community than you get from outside your community. But people talk about the fight against racism. I don't believe that the fight is necessarily against racism per se. I don't walk down the street and worry about somebody calling me the N-word. I don't worry about someone hanging a noose on my door. I don't worry about someone hating me because I am black. Most people that hate me, they hate me for some other reason. Okay. But the fight today, in my opinion, lies not with racism, but with racial inequality. You see, racism creates racial inequality. And the racial inequality is persistent long after the racism has disappeared. When you have 400 years of systematic implementation of a strategy that puts one group of people beneath the other, you're going to have an after effect. Long after people stop using the N-word. If you think that the idea of stopping racism and stopping the mistreatment of people of color just because of the color of their skin is going to make the effect of racial inequality go away, then you're out of your mind. I don't care what your IQ, SAT, ACT, PSAT, GPA, MA, MS, BA, BS, PhD, JD, MBA, MS, or whatever letters you have behind your name that might make you feel that you're better than other people. I have a lot of letters behind my name and they just help me get a job, and I am thankful for that. There's one letter that matters, and that letter is you. What are you going to do to get the most out of your career? What are you going to do to make a difference? What are you going to do to affect others with your sense of commitment and achievement and courage that you're going to pursue in your own career? What are you going to do? That's the letter that matters.